Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Week 1 Randomizer League match. I am hearing my own echo in my ears. There we go. I fixed that problem. Between Marcnificent and Cool Papa Bell, we have Old Swagga Jackson v. the Cool Rush Gamers teams here. I am joined on comms by Walter. Hello, Walter.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am caffeinated.
Well, that sounds like a good start.
Yeah, sorry to rub it in, Walt.
So this is our last race out of the first week of the league.
Oh, of all the teams.
Yeah, after this
Wow.
we have all 64 matches being played. Actually, 65 because there's one match being replayed. So we had 65 games this week.
Dang, that is insane. Like just the number, like, yeah, that is crazy. Because there are how many people again? 200 and some in this tournament?
192 people, 64 teams, and we managed to restream 57 out of the 64 matches this week, which is pretty crazy. So definitely major shout outs to everyone who's volunteered to make that be possible so far.
Yeah, those are some insane stats. And we should be getting started here in just a second.
Yeah, so this is gonna be our last week of having the open, or the last day of open mode. After today, it will be Ambrosia for the entire next week.
Yeah, so starting it off kind of with some more vanilla-y modes. Ambrosia not totally vanilla, but it's still close enough to kind of help warm us up, I think, a little bit. Both of them going for the uncle signage strat.
Yeah, maybe they're preparing for next week, so they're ready for Uncle.
And Cool Papa Bell getting a small magic drop. So the game is pretty much over at this point. Marcnificent is just way too far behind.
That sounds believable. They're both getting a bottle, which is that was kind of nice. Getting this before going to Kakariko, so they can check the kid as they arrive.
Yeah, that's quite convenient. That's one of the advantages of doing this Uncle Strat is just in case you get something that could help you while you're in Kakariko. But in this case, of course, since they both did it, it's not going to give either of them an advantage or disadvantage for having done that.
Yeah, for sure. Quick map check there. 5-6 crystal at Eastern, normal crystal at Hera, and we got a green pendant at Desert, I believe. Even got a little bit of an encore map check there from Cool Papa Bell. I hate when that happens, when you like do a map check and then as soon as you close it down, you're like, okay, good, and then you're like, wait, what was it again?
Yeah, I think it for me it happens more often in the light world because you're just like you assume that you should be able to go right by, and then sometimes you do, but you forget like, wait, which one was the red crystal or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Starting off with a sword is quite useful though.
Yeah, that's actually really nice. That pretty much guarantees that we won't have too much trouble in the South Shore, hopefully. And if we have to go to Eastern early without like a lamp or something, or Hyrule Castle without a lamp, definitely makes the dark rooms easier, more manageable.
So 0 bombs, both walking out of Lost Woods. This is interesting.
Yeah, this is no money to buy bombs as well. So this is a little bit of a pray for the best here.
And Cool Papa Bell having a little bit of an advantage because at least he can sell the shirt off his back in case he needs to buy some bombs. But Mark just has a leaf.
He has a hat, at least.
Okay, so Mark is going to go down and try to find some bombs. Cool Papa Bell going to turn in the bottle, but doesn't have even a single bomb to open up the rat hut. So I wonder, this is a play you often see if you have the money or maybe a bomb to open up the rat hut, but I wonder if they're just trying to find 3 bombs before going into one of these houses with a bombable wall.
Ooh, a lot of money. That would probably help. You just rob the tavern and you can go buy as many bombs as you want.
Yeah, that makes this route pay off for sure. For Cool Papa Bell, especially if Mark does not find a bomb down here in the well, because he's going all in here on the.
Yeah. It does get Master Sword and 2 new leaves, but no bombs. And he's gonna actually jump in again to get money for buying bombs, but this will only give him 10 more rupees, so he would actually have to jump down a 3rd time to get that, and then buy bombs, and then come back for a 4th dip of Kakariko well. How often do you see that?
Yeah, the quad dip. His teammates must be sweating right now.
Yeah, you do not want to be teammates with Marcnificent, that's for sure.
And just to rub salt in the wound, there's 20 rupees in the back of the well.
Yeah, I bet he's gonna love seeing that coming back.
The quad dip to farm 5 rupees in the well just so you can go back and get 20 rupees. Ouch. Mark is a pretty chill runner though. Like I feel like he could, I don't know, like die to Ganon when he has red mail, and like not that he would ever do that, you know, and then like lose to his opponent by a minute, and then he'd just be like, okay, cool, well, let's race another one. Like he's just a chill guy. He's not gonna get tilted by this.
Totally forgot to mention this super vanilla bug net, by the way. Oh, there's a Moon Pearl. Let's hope for Mark's sake, that he goes back to that as well. I mean, if you quad dip the well, you probably double dip blindside, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you quad dip the well just to get the money to buy bombs, you're not gonna isolate the bombable checks. That's what I gotta hope. But he wouldn't be the first person to ever isolate that check after not having bombs.
Maybe not. But yeah, this is like the one awkward part of doing Kakariko early is making sure you have bombs, because otherwise you can find yourself in scenarios like this where it's not very nice. Did have a mirror there on the library. That's kind of nice. Probably means that we're gonna get boots this seed, but we don't really need if that mirror is required yet or not.
Yeah, Mire is definitely one of those items where like it's never going to be required for an early sphere check, but it could be required either for a mid game or late game check. So it's always like funny to see it in a place you can see but not get to yet, because you're like, well, how early is it actually going to give me this?
So coolpapabell, being the first done in Kakariko, is gonna head to South Shore. Mark is gonna leave the south part of Kakariko there, since he had to go back up again for Blindside and the Kakariko well. So he's not gonna have knowledge about that mirror quite yet.
Yeah, like it's really interesting play, because it's almost like he's cutting his losses for having, you know, quadruple dipped the well. But at the same time, you're only really gaining time if you can chain in that like library check along with some of your Dark World stuff, which you can only really do with the Mire. So
yeah, I mean, I can see like when you get Dark World access, you could just like go over there and then take the portal. Just go from Link's house and you can check them on the way. Or if you get the boots, you can check them. So Mini Moldrum Cave coming up here. We did get a mushroom from the dam, by the way.
damn.
Kind of interesting. Yeah. Don't have we'll see if any of our runners try and hold on to that for a potential fake powder later, but we don't have anything to kind of indicate that that's going to be available so far. But there's a glove that seems important. Those flippers could definitely be as well. And that seems good enough. 2 out of 5 checks being a major item.
Yeah, pretty dang good. So now the runners are going to be very drawn towards doing these flippers checks. I mean, since they just got the flippers, they don't really have much indication about anywhere else to go. But they are short rupees, so if they do commit to Zora, they may be isolating it. Mark deciding to swim here. Now, this is interesting. I'm not actually sure which way is faster. I mean, I would trust that Mark would have timed this, but it is slower to swim than it is to walk on land. But if you can cut the corner, thanks to our friend Pythagoras, it's obviously better to swim. So I'm not sure how that works out on the screens, to be honest.
I'm not 100% sure as well. Looks like coolpapabell is not going to do the flipper stuff yet. Mark might, though. You mentioned we're a little bit short of money. If we do a whole hand, though, we would have enough money for Zora, but at first we could just check the back of Escape instead. This is a little bit of money, but not enough.
Not maybe the 300 rupees they could have been hoping for. And looks like we're going to get a reverse in the dark escape. Quite nice with the sword beams, though, to try to hit that key rat.
Yeah, for sure. Got a green potion from the fairy hiding in the waterfall. We're going to see what's on the ledge here, but we're not going to get to find out what Zora has yet. So if it's something important, we might see that later on from coolpapabell. Ledge only being a hard piece of Mark walking out of here, maybe turning in the mushroom right away from this side. Or taking the portal. Oh, we didn't see Hobo yet.
Yeah. coolpapabell trying to echolocate the chest. Looks like they found it. Oh, it's just 5 rupees.
Oof. But at least you got it out of the way, so it's gonna help you when you do the front of escape later. Okay, so at this point, we're a glove or a hammer from Dark World Access, or we're a lamp away from Aga Access. Which one do you think we're gonna have for our way of getting into Dark World today? There's 300 rupees from the Hobo.
Oh my god! Today is just not Mark's day for rupees.
Oh, yikes! Yeah, that's. Yeah, hate to see that.
I don't know, man. I think I think if we had the hookshot, I would definitely be saying lamp, but because we don't, I think it's much more probable it's going to be, you know, the mitts or the hammer for Dark World access. But let's see where coolpapabell goes. He's swimming out. Oh, so he's probably just going to Zora's domain now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so I missed that the map was actually here in Sanctuary. That makes a lot more sense why we saw that dark chest, because that was guaranteed to be an item, means that all of our items in front of escape are also guaranteed to be non-dungeon items.
Yeah, that's useful intel for sure. All right, so we're about to have done, like, finished covering each other's tracks here. Now we have some not great options. Go to Sahasrara, go to Gina's cave, do Eastern without the bow when it's a crystal, or go up the mountain for 2 items.
Yeah, it's not a lot of great options. Like even front of escape, when you're like only 1 item from ag access as well, sometimes people like to just skip that and just try and pair together if it turns out to be an Agassi. But let's see what Zora has. Powder. Well, we don't have the hammer, so the powder is not important quite yet, but it could be later on.
Yeah,
Mark could bypass it though if he keeps that mushroom.
that's true. I mean, he hasn't turned it in yet, although saving quitting to Link's house. No, he's going to maybe he's going to turn it in. He could be fake or not fake flipper.
It might be a Gina.
I think this is the fake flipper here to turn it in.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to set up a fake flipper and then remembered he actually had the real flippers. But this is right after a save and quit, so if there's nothing important, we could totally see a reset here. The coolpapabell is going to turn it in as well. Definitely not going to reset since they already have the powder.
Yeah, if this is progressive and Mark doesn't reset, this could be really interesting divergence here.
300 rupees.
Okay. Is he going to continue on to Zora? Why is he walking out? Yeah, must be.
Yeah, he's doing it.
Okay.
Been a little bit of unfortunate routing from Mark so far, but you know, it happens.
Yeah, I think that he took a risk. It wasn't that great of a risk. Very often you do find bombs in Kakariko, so I'm all for the decision that he made. But yeah, these decisions about rupees just really unfortunate that it's come back to bite him.
Yeah. Personally, I like to guarantee having bombs going into Kakariko, even if sometimes it ends up being a little bit slower than taking a chance. But it makes it just more consistent.
So this powder is really interesting because of the way the fill algorithm works. Not every item is created equal. It depends on what sphere you get it. So the earlier sphere you get an item, and also the fewer locations that item unlocks, the more likely it is that item will be required to progress through the game. So in the case of the powder being in sphere 2, that is a very strong hint, or much stronger hint towards Magic Bat than just a normal progressive item, like say the mitts that we just found in the back of Sahasrara, which opens up a ton of the game. So that can be a really big signpost that you need to go to the Magic Bat.
Mitts could actually even help us get to Magic Bat if we get that mirror as well. Not the way you normally like to route in Magic Bat, but it is a potential.
Yeah,
but
yikes.
with those mitts though, we do have Dark Complexes.
And I'm a little bit surprised here that coolpapabell is going to be in the Dark World first, but Mark is not going to be far behind, which is a little surprising considering that the early game routing efficiency was pretty unfortunate.
So no big surprises that no one ends up going into Eastern at this point. Map check in Dark World, Red Crystal on Turtle Rock, and our other 2 pendants are in Thieves Town and Palace of Darkness. Not very nice to see that pendant in Thieves Town when it's like the only dungeon you can beat at this point, but hey, you don't have the hammer, so maybe you don't want to go to the back anyways.
Yeah, this is an unfortunate situation. Since you don't have a clear crystal dungeon, you kind of need to be in the overworld, but with just mitts, no hammer, and no Mire yet, and you know the Mire's out there, it's just, it kind of hurts to do this big long route around over the Mire, the overworld, so inefficiently.
Yeah, for sure. It's really awkward routing the Dark World with no hammer. And those boots blocking our mirror is kind of awkward too. Next week, when we have Ambrosia, everyone will get a boots hint from the uncle. So I bet the runners were wishing we had Ambrosia right now, because then we could maybe be able to like Galaxy Brain getting those boots early on. See a little bit of divergence. Mark heading up to Skullwoods first. Not being able to full clear this, but maybe getting both items out of this before heading south. And coolpapabell is heading into the Thieves instead.
Looks like coolpapabell also setting up a Death Warp. I think they have gotten 0 items so far. Or maybe they got 1.
Was that actually 0 items? Is that all dungeon items?
I can't remember if the first item was a compass or an actual item. But they're Death Warping out regardless. They got either 1 or 0 items.
Death Warping is.
But yeah, I like this idea from both runners, honestly. I mean, Skullwoods being a crystal, it would be nice to save it until you can come back with the Fire Rod. But then also I think maybe Mark's thought might be here, I'm going to have to take this really long loop, very linear loop around the Dark World. And if Skullwoods has anything that could help me out with that, then I'm going to really regret not coming here first.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Mark getting grabbed. He did it on purpose. Oh, he did walk out there. But yeah, I know it was intentional, but I didn't realize that he actually walked out of the entrance. I thought he was just going to go back to the drop down again.
Oh.
It's actually interesting he chose to use the drop down right away, because he could get key locked right away and had to be forced to save and quit. It's not super likely, but it is definitely possible now with version 31 not guaranteeing a key in that pinball room.
All right, coolpapabell continuing on. I don't think they checked out what was on Bumper Ledge. So they're just doing the south route first. They do have the info, though, that the Mire is available in the library, so they could be saving all those north checks to route them all in together once they do have the boots.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. And Mark did get 1 item from Skullwoods, but we still have 1 remaining in the back part. The mitts, we can pick up the smith, but without the mirror, he's gonna have to follow us on a little bit of a journey here.
Yeah, this is gonna be a long walk for the short little frog legs. Oh, what was that on I missed it on the Bumper Ledge.
Oh, I totally missed that too. I'm sorry. It was a book.
Oh,
apparently. Well, that could be quite impactful if we ever find that cape. However, our desert is not necessarily required, but the book is definitely blocking a couple of items guaranteed no matter what.
Yeah, it's another one of those items that are kind of like the powder, and that to see it fairly early can be a breadcrumb because it unlocks so few locations.
Yeah, it's like a fetch quest, but every chapter in the book like unlocks a new fetch quest.
Okay, so there were bombs in that first chest in Thieves Town. So there was, coolpapabell did get 1 item in the front.
Our hype cave having a flute and boots. I would call that hype.
Yeah, I would say,
especially since we know we get the mirror as well from that.
Yeah, well, coolpapabell knows. Mark doesn't know. This is a really rough situation for Mark, actually. Without that knowledge, and also he happened to take the route through the Dark World that got him boots a little bit later. I'm assuming he will go down to Hype Cave in a very similar route to coolpapabell now, so he really will not have had to play that much of the game without the boots, but
yeah.
But it is...
Oh, it looks Looks like Cool Papa Bell might not know that he could have checked the boots locations with the smith.
I think he's saving them to route it in when he gets the mirror.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, I think that it's probably about the same time either way, to be honest, because you avoid having to do those extra screen transitions if you do them from the light world, but you still have to screen transition with the mirror.
I think if you save them for doing it with the mirror. Sorry, if you save it to do them with the mirror, that kind of incentivizes you to actually check Graveyard Ledge. I think if you just like do the boost locations first, I know I at least would be super tempted to be like just skip Graveyard Ledge overall. So this way you can force yourself into checking Graveyard Ledge as well.
Yeah, and also he may be aware that he did not get that bumper ledge info, which again, if that is what they're thinking, that's a really good thing because there is potentially relevant info there. However, Mark is in a bit of a pickle. He could decide to take those boots and go check, the library.
Oof, there's a hookshot from our Smith as well.
Yeah. This is, I mean, Cool Papa Bell is like, their routing is really working out for them here.
Yeah, for sure. Heading straight up to the mountain. There's a lot of things we can do now that we have a hookshot and mirror up on the mountain. We could get one crystal, we could get like 1,000,000 items, and yeah, that's about it.
Ooh, Dr. Drawl pointing out that Mark is going to have to activate the flute, and that might make them check the library. The question is whether he comes from the north or the south. I would imagine the south because he hasn't checked it yet.
I mean, what you can just do is go check the boots locations on next to Sank first, and then after you activate the flute, you can just go south after that.
That's true, you could, yeah. But I do think that is, because it could create a possibility where he just flutes away instead of checks.
I would say the more impactful part is that he didn't pick up the smith, so he's going to be without that hookshot for a while.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, maybe once he gets the mirror, he'll be incentivized. I don't know. There's a lot of that's unknown right now about Mark's future.
Yeah, I would say the mirror probably more likely pull them towards the like Mire desert area potentially.
Is Mark going east side?
Looks like it. Might have a pod dip in our future here. He does have the potion from the ferry.
So this could be, if there's any progress here at all, Cool Papa Bell is on a pretty amazing route that might be taking him into lots of crystal dungeons. So if there's anything here in pod, this could easily be something that Cool Papa Bell misses.
Yeah, for sure. We do get bombos, and we do get a big key, so we're not locked by fire source here. But it looks like we're gonna see a pretty sweet setup here for the what's it called? The Herapod. Oh, didn't get it though. Gonna try again. It's a little bit awkward if you don't get it like the first couple of tries when you actually do have the big key. But there we go. Second time is the turn to get a ferry as well, so we can use to refill our health real quickly.
Yeah, quite nice to do this dungeon now, as it is a crystal.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, you just leave one item in the basement, but you still get the crystal. So Mark was not bow locked right away. Are we gonna see a potential? No, I was thinking if he was gonna try and go for the hover over to that chest, but he's gonna check this instead, which I think honestly makes more sense. And really nice Moldorm fighter for coolpapabell.
Yeah.
And our second item. So
Nice.
we're done in Hera. And there's a bow in pod.
That
Well,
could be exactly the break Mark needed here.
that could be awkward. But there is 2 bows. There could be another bow up here on Death Mountain for all we know.
Yeah, I mean, Paradox Cave having a bow would be actually pretty bad for Mark. Pod was not bow locked, yeah. So just a question in chat about that.
Yeah, depends on how many keys we have here over on this side. If there's 2 keys over on the bow locked side here, I do believe that chest was bow locked.
Oh, maybe that's what they meant then.
But we don't know yet. But we'll find out soon. Nah, there's only 1 key over here, so that bow is logic without having the bow.
All right, because coolpapabell does have that mirror, they can do this nice, 1-2 routing in the light world, dark world, east side Death Mountain checks.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Mire, Mark does not have it, and he also doesn't have the hammer, so he's gonna have to take a death warp over here to get back to the beginning of pod, and then head to the back, where there is 4 or 3 more items hiding there. Maybe 1 on Helmsar, so we'll see. There's our mount. Definitely nice to have. It's actually our first fire source, so it's actually really impactful.
It's a nice red cave there. So far, the mountain not having much that is going to be punishing Mark here just yet.
Yeah, the keyword there being yet.
Oh, missed the hook clip there in Super Bunny Cave. It's funny, that tech, I can't remember who came up with it. I don't think it was Super Scudge, but whoever did, there's like an interview with them about it, and they were talking about how it's so funny to them that everybody does it now, even when they have the mirror, because it is faster, to do it. But he originally came up with that tech just in situations where you don't have the mirror. He didn't imagine people would go for it every time, but now it's like every time we always go for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's really solid tech, and it's quite consistent as well. It looks like that bombos is going to be required for Touch Rock at the very least, but we're super far away from Touch Rock at this point, because we would need a hammer and a cane and then 2 rods before we can even consider doing Trinex. There's a bow, so that's really good news for coolpapabell.
Yeah, totally.
And a fire rod.
Oh my goodness.
And a shovel that probably is gonna lead to like the ice rod or something. So, there is the ice rod actually.
Oh my god. The swings back and forth.
Yeah, this is crazy.
The bad news for Mark, though, is that bow can incentivize coolpapabell to go into pod. Like, if they save Eastern until they've done some other, like, crystal dungeons, then they might decide to route in, like, a pod Eastern play.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to see these boost locations. We haven't seen them from any runners quite yet, but let's see what we have. The mountain being blocked. Now that Mark got the ice rod, if he keeps putting off that hook shot, there is a potential he has the hammer first time he goes up the mountain, which could be impactful. I mean, if we had a hammer and the cane, I suppose.
Oh right, yeah.
Then it would be that could be actually quite a difference, because then you could like do touch rock in one go. Quake to get into Mire, so we don't have that yet. We do have actually half of Ice Palace in Logic at the moment, which is kind of not very fun.
Yeah. Oh god, hammer and ice. Okay, Mark giving us our lumberjack check here.
20 rupees.
Yeah.
Man, I could have just done that instead of quad dipping the Kakariko well.
Probably would have taken just about the same amount of time.
Okay, so the overroll here, desert doesn't seem very good. Did we see Akina yet? I don't think so.
Oh.
Well, we're about to see it now. Mark's gonna go activate his flute, maybe heading over here after that as well, but doesn't have the mirror, so it's not quite as nice. But he might actually just pick up the mirror after this, to be honest.
Everyone give Mark your energy.
He's got enough energy already, I'm sure.
He's walking, he's dashing, he's bonking. He's taking kind of an inefficient route.
Mark, please, you're on my fantasy team. Stop bonking.
Just your fantasy team?
Yeah, just my fantasy team. I don't know who would be crazy enough to actually team up with him for real.
Okay, he did pick up that mirror.
Then we're in trouble, aren't we?
Yeah, oops. Yeah, very interesting kind of divergence here, but I mean, definitely I would say that Mark still is quite behind. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it's his rando that leads change quite quickly based off of just finding new stuff.
Yeah. Well, the bow is going to head to Eastern. I think that makes a lot of sense. Use that one advantage he did get from Pod, or well, at least he probably thinks he got from Pod. Doesn't know that coolpapabell found the other bow. But if coolpapabell decides to full clear desert here to get not only both of the items but also the green pendant, could be possible to turn that in as they go to Eastern.
Oh yeah, that'd be very efficient to do all of that. All right, we've seen just one item in each dungeon so far, I do believe. Yeah, chat theorizing, I think it's a good theory, that Ice Rod and Hook are both going to Troll. Yeah, and I think that those are the two items that most likely to be left for the latest for each of the runners.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I mean, at that point, I would rather have the Hookshot. Ooh, there's a hammer.
No. Ooh. That is, I mean, you know, it's so, I mean, people hate it when you talk about leads this early in the game in Randomizer, but leads are real, y'all. But, you know, I gotta imagine that that is like a hammer hammering the nail in Mark's coffin. Like something amazing needs to happen now for Mark, because between the hammer and Hookshot.
Yeah, he has the access to get that hammer, but if he gets the hammer, then the Hookshot is definitely gonna get farther out of the way.
It's just, I guess it's just a matter of at what point does he go to desert? Because like the hammer does block quite a lot of the game still, so there's not too much he can get into trouble with. But you know, you could do, you could go back to Thieves Town. He could do ice hammerless if he's feeling behind, which he very well still might. So there's a lot of trouble he could still get in without that hammer.
Yeah, at this point, I guess we're really looking for Quake and Somaria for collective no mode.
Wow, is that it? That's crazy.
Yeah, looks like it. But I mean, the Quake could be pretty much anywhere except for Mire. Somaria pretty much the same, except it can't be in Tartarok. Tomorrow it could even be in Mire.
I wasn't paying attention. Did Cool Papa come here in the Dark World and then Mire?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so that's probably good news for them since they already have a bow. Oh wait, where is the ice rod again? It was in pod, right?
Yeah, big shift of pod.
Okay, never mind. That could be bad news.
Doing a little bit of spin speed here. Oh, did we get all 3 items? I don't think Mark was even sure about it.
He did the dark rooms already. Didn't he do the vanilla big key chest?
Oh yeah, maybe. Oh, maybe he like walked out because he was thinking about grabbing the ferret then. Because he walked in and then he walked out again. Having a little bit of trouble here. This dark room can definitely be a little bit annoying when you don't have any fire source whatsoever. That's usually what makes the dark rooms dark. But, you know. The dark room is actually in logic if you have the fire rod, because there is torches in that room that you can light with the fire rod.
Yeah,
one of the new tweaks of version 31. Definitely one of the more impactful changes, I would say.
Yeah. The advanced item placement.
Doesn't change too much from what we used to have, but it definitely is enough to shake things up a little bit. There's our last item from Eastern, but we didn't get any progression whatsoever.
And I don't think that Cool Papa turned in the green pendant either on their way here. I mean, it is more efficient if they're going straight Eastern to go to Sahashala after the dungeon. So that'll be a new item.
Jump out and do it after. The only thing that normally scares me doing Eastern first is forgetting to turn in the green pendant, which is, I mean, it's a thing that happens sometimes. Mark is not heading up the mountain, doesn't have the hammer, doesn't have the hookshot, so this is going to be quite a short trip. We're pretty much only going to do Eastern and then leave.
Sorry to interrupt.
Hera. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say that chat pointing out that apparently we weren't looking as Cool Papa fluted away from desert without defeating Landmo, so they do not have the green pendant. And in fact, our tracker indicates that.
Yeah.
We're just not paying attention.
Yeah, right. I actually even thought about that, but then I forgot it because you mentioned the green pendant, so I blame you.
Cool Papa doing bottom left strats. Nice quick kill.
Yeah, really nicely done.
Or so bottom right.
Our second crystal for Cool Papa.
That is really fun to say.
It really is. It's amazing. The Cool Russia Gamers is a pretty sweet team name as well, coming from one part of each runner. Cool from Cool Papa, Rush from Bum Rush, Blitz, and Gamers from the Data Gamers. I guess the comes from the Data Gamers as well, potentially.
Oh yeah, maybe. Well, I really like that idea of like one bit coming from each runner for team name.
Yeah, it's like the Cool Rush Gamers is like the ABBA of Link to the Past Random.
Dude, I just learned something about ABBA just now, which I did not expect that to happen on today's commentary, but there you go.
Yeah, as a Swede, contractually obligated to talk about ABBA every 2 hours.
So now Cool Rush Gamers can do the reverse clear. Not even going to mess with that mummy chest back there.
Yeah, you're just going to go to the back first. Hoping to get both the items. Not going to get the half magic until they do the front, which is a little bit ironic because it's kind of nice to have going to the back, but we do have a red mail and we do have hammer and accessories, so you could definitely have a lot worse of a fight than we're about to have on Mafia. We're gonna see what this is though. This could be the item, or the second item could just be on Mafia.
The suspense, it's killing me.
It's just a shield. We don't need that. And we cannot check Pedestal after this because we still don't have that access to the book yet.
Nice spin set up on the edge of that pit there from Mark.
Mm-hmm.
It's really clean.
You don't want to mess that one up because that would hurt a lot.
Did you see that rail clip to avoid that fire? That was fire. That was lit. So yeah, that if you guys don't know, that Kadongo, when it shoots fire to the right there, sometimes you see people hold their sword out in order to rail clip around and not get hit by the fire. But it is also possible, like if you're dashing there, for instance, to dash cancel with a diagonal up left to also clip into the rail and avoid the fire. But it is a lot harder to do that. Moth fight for coolpapabell.
It's a good thing rail clipping has never been a controversial thing in Link to the Past.
I can't tell if you're being ironic.
Honestly, neither can I.
Oh, did Mark get trolled a little bit here?
Yeah, he did. But he got his revenge here. So, coolpapabell is going to do the front now. I'm going to get the half magic. Question then is, what will they do after this? With the hammer, a potential of getting those 3 remaining items in Thieves Town and doing hammer pegs and potentially exiting that route with like getting a K45 and what's it called, the purple chest is a pretty likely scenario potentially. What else do we have? Like, our other options are, I mean, I guess we have Ice Palace. It's a crystal and it's fully clearable at the moment.
Gotta hope he gets that. Yeah, for coolpapabell has a lot of good options right now because he can do a few crystals. But that could also be a problem too, because like let's theorize for a second here. What if he gets the other go mode items in these crystal dungeons, which is of course what he's hoping? Then that would mean that Pod becomes less and less of a play. You know, the more progress he gets, the more he's going to follow these crystal dungeons. And having avoided Pod, you may at that point say, going early pendant Pod is a thing people do. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to clear overworld instead.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so like the scenario that they want to find themselves in is getting that ice rod before getting the cane, but there is nothing in Pod that could potentially be blocking the Cane of Samaria except for Pedestal. That's the only thing in Pod that could actually be blocking the cane right now. So as long as they don't go over to Pod, they're pretty much guaranteed to find the cane before the ice rod, which would be kind of awkward.
Yes. Yeah, that play into Turtle Rock without the ice rod is a common one that comes up all the time.
Now Mark is gonna get this hammer, which probably is gonna push them away from the hookshot. It's gonna give them access to Ice Palace and a lot of stuff up on the mountain, both of which probably sounds more appealing than let's go to Smith Chain.
Yeah, luckily
shield, leaving the shield. You already have 2. You're like,
that's so much more lag though,
away.
Walter. That's the lag shield right there.
It's not that much lag.
Oh, it's so much. It's like seconds of lag overall.
Dude, you already picked up 2 shields. You might as well commit and just pick up the third one.
It's literally hours of lag, Walter.
Hours of lag?
Days of lag.
Okay, now you're starting to sell me on this. So Where are we going here? Is this a Swamp Palace play, which I actually kind of forgot that we had in Logic as well. That's also a crystal that's fully clearable and has more items than Ice Palace.
Didn't I just say that Cool Papa could do? Are you even listening to me, Walter? I think I just said that.
Sorry, did you say
never
something?
listen to me. Oh my god. If I talk about ABBA, will you listen?
Sure. No, I'm sorry if I missed that. But I am kind of automatically tuned into not listening to you, so
that's understandable.
Okay, so both runners going into one crystal dungeon each. We'll see which one ends up having progression, if any. If it's Ice Palace, then Papa Bell probably getting that not too long from now, because Ice Palace might just be the next destination after Swamp Palace. If it's here in Swamp Palace, it could be a little bit more annoying for Mark, though, because he would want to get that hookshot first.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, they're both going to have to full clear each dungeon. It's just a question of whether or not Mark double dips Swamp.
Yeah.
So the order of the dungeons doesn't really matter here, except for maybe time that Cool Papa Bell might gain over getting to use the hookshot over doing bomb jumps in Ice Palace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that seems pretty likely scenario.
So I don't mean to nitpick every single little execution thing, but just as a PSA, because I see a lot of people do that hammer dash there, and it is quite swag. But it's actually like, when I first learned this, it blew my mind. But it's actually faster to just walk up to the pot, hammer it, and then dash turn south from there. And if you don't even move, you'll automatically pick up the key.
Yeah, and first time someone told me that, I became really sad because I like hammer dashing.
I know, right? Not that you shouldn't do it, because it still is swag. I just want to make sure people know. I want to make sure people have the information.
Ooh, this is a nice bump. Oh, okay, never mind. Mark, please. Trying to give Mark a compliment, and he just throws it away like that. He doesn't deserve a compliment at this point.
Now, PSA, in case y'all haven't put it together, Walter and I are on Mark's team, so it's okay for us to... We have his permission for us to be a little harsh on him.
Yeah, we're just messing a little bit with him. Obviously, both of these runners are really good at the game. It's just Mark is a little bit worse than Cool Papa Bell.
So I wasn't keeping track of dungeon items in Swamp. What's the deal in... Do we know? Have you been keeping track? In terms of left side possibility? Maybe we'll see when Cool Papa Bell opens up their item menu, but they are already selected to Hookshot, so... More thinking whether or not he has dungeon items and what that could indicate about a left side play.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, where was Quake found? Was that on Mark's side that I just missed?
Looks like it, and he also got the cape actually, so that opens up the book.
Some nice spin strats here. Cool Papa Bell getting off a couple of doubles.
Yeah, the Master Sword, there's a couple of different ways you can do this when you have the Master Sword. You can go for like double hooks and then with a spin, or you can use like hook them and do double slashes. Or if you really want to get crazy, you could do like the poke dash, double poke dash on each of them, but that's really advanced and extremely hard to do optimally.
There's the big key. Okay, so there's at least one dungeon item in those first 6 checks. So it'll be, I mean, he'll be incentivized to go back in to check that big chest, but whether or not he does.
Yeah, it's with not getting any progression makes it a lot more likely that you just go back in. If they have gotten like this King of Samaria or something, that could have been enough to be like, well, we could maybe skip the rest.
I think Mark is missing one item here in ice, or maybe 2.
Yeah, it looked like he. Oh, okay, never mind. He was just going for the ferry. Yeah, I think he actually did the icy room before this, so he only has Cold Star left actually.
Oh, that's where Quake was. Okay, that's why we're missing it. Okay, uh-oh. Dungeon item there. So there is a map and an item on the left side. All right, Mark, show us your Master Sword, maybe Hammer, Cold Stare strats.
Maybe Hammer, Cold Star strats. I like that.
He waits to start the Bombos medallion. You see this, I think it's about, if you Bombos right away, then you might get hit by that ice.
Ooh, Mark not doing the hammer spin to get them in the corner. Rookie mistake.
Hammer spin?
Oh yeah, right. You can't do that.
Oh, I see.
It was a joke. I'm not very good at making jokes, but sometimes they land.
I thought that ABBA joke was pretty good.
There's a heart container. We did get one guaranteed progression and then one like maybe progression here in Ice Palace, so that's probably good enough.
So, and the interesting thing is, you know, Walt, that's not who's playing. Mark got a cape, right? So he knows where the book is on the bumper ledge. So going to get the bumper ledge may also make him go get the hookshot so he can purple chest into Swamp Palace.
Yeah, no, it's not. That's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. He is definitely looking like he's going for that book. And the book does definitely incentivize doing the Smith chain a bit more, because you can, as you mentioned, combine purple chest and... Oh, never mind. It looks like he might actually be going for... No, he's going straight for the Smith chain, actually.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I guess, well, interesting.
I mean, this is potentially better, but I mean, we know it's good for him at least, because he's going to get the hookshot. But if he skips the book, then that's not as good.
Yeah, I guess my thought was, you know, it's very common if people are going to do Swamp without the hookshot, that they might go check the Bombos tablet first, which is why I was thinking for sure book, but maybe not Smith chain, but he's doing the opposite. Chat saying, I don't think Mark ever checked the bumper ledge. I'm pretty sure he did. I think it was at the beginning, Mark had the bumper ledge intel and Cool Papa Bell had the library intel.
Yeah, he should know.
Mark
he should know it's a book unless he forgot about it.
That is a thing that does happen.
Mark is known to forget stuff. For real. Well, mostly in entrance, but, you know. He might forget stuff here too. You never know.
Ooh, Wallcake's theorizing that it could be that Mark doesn't know where Swamp Palace is. That could entirely be possible. It's so interesting.
Oh, there's the King of Samaria. That was the powder play this entire time. You remember, like, way back, like a week ago, when you mentioned
flashback.
That...
Oh! Cool Papa Bell just flew it away. Oh no!
That's a bit isolated now. It's kind of quick to get back to, but it's
But it's on its own. It's totally isolated over
yeah,
there.
for sure.
And he's got some crystals to do.
And Mark finding the hookshot. He only needs the fire rod for Gomo, really, right?
Oh, he is gonna go up and get the. Wait a minute. This is Galaxy Brain. Okay, this was his plan all along because you can flip from here, turn in the chest.
I don't think
Aha.
this is faster.
It is faster because he doesn't have to walk back down to the smith area because he was gonna flute with the purple chest anyway.
I
See what I mean?
guess, but he hasn't done, or has he done K45 already?
Oh. Yeah, maybe he's just skipping that then.
Either way, the go mode for Mark at this point is gonna be the fire rod, and for Cool Papa Bell, I think we can safely assume that it's gonna be the cane. So the question is, when does Mark go up the mountain, and when does Papa Bell go back to Kakariko to check that powder? I would assume that maybe Papa Bell just forgot in that instance that they had the powder, and like as soon as they remember, it's really quick to get back and check it.
Yeah, I actually think now that I'm thinking about it, it's not so bad that Cool Papa Bell is missing that cane, because if they did get that cane,
That would have maybe forced them.
pushed them into
Oh yeah,
trouble.
because they don't have the ice rod yet as well,
Yeah.
right?
So that's
Oh,
actually
yeah.
one of those weird situations where, like, it's actually good that you didn't find progress, potentially.
Yeah, for sure. Then maybe they will go into pot after this, which would actually be good for them. Mark's going to turn in the purple chest here and then check the Bumbles medallion, and then I would assume we'll see either a Swamp play or a Mire play. Probably, I would say Swamp almost, because we're like right next to it in the Dark World anyways. But I think when you're only looking for one item for Go mode, going into Mire would kind of make sense as well, because you might have to full clear that dungeon no matter what, even if you're in Go mode. So, but if Mark full clears both of them, that's definitely time that Papa Bell can use to maybe get that ice rod and find their way back to the smith or to the powder.
I think Mark's just having fun now. Like, not turning in that purple chest first, but grabbing the Bombos tablet. Oh, okay.
I mean, at least he didn't like leave the purple chest in the overworld and then went up to the tablet and then jumped down to the guy without even checking the tablet.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to Actiboker, our second place finisher of the main tourney.
All right, now Mark, equipped with his hookshot, will also do Swamp. So Cool Papa Bell is going to be done with this chain first, having caught up a bit with Mark. And I don't think Mark has done... I think Mark has still done less overworld, because he has still East Death Mountain left to do. Potentially we'll be able to do it all in one go, though.
Yeah, this is actually really close right now. I can't really clearly define who's in the lead right now, because it all depends on how long does it take before they get over to the places that has the items they need. Could end up being really close potentially here. So I think like the for Mark at least, it feels like the obvious option for him is going to be Mire after this. But Papabell has a little bit more options, but they could go into Mire without the Quake, which isn't terrible, but it's definitely not good as well, since we know that it's not going to give them anything except for the big key, so that's going to make the return trip fast at least.
Without the Samaria?
Mm-hmm. Like, doing Mire, the front of Mire without Samaria, it's not terrible, but you would definitely want to avoid that if you can. So maybe Pod with so many items in there and being full clearable as well might be more appealing. And that would give them silvers as well, which if we end up on Master Sword could actually be pretty important. Mark is most definitely going to have silvers one way or another, because Fire Rod is in that Hookshot cave together with the bow, but the bow is placed earlier than the Fire Rod, I believe.
I think you're right, yeah. Coolpapabell has to be a little careful here. Does have red mail, so he could probably tank another hit from Cold Stare, but...
Yeah, that ice falling only half a heart, and Cold Stare only deals 2 at this point.
All right, so now the question is, this is a moment of truth for Coolpapabell, where they go. They've done the obvious stuff.
If they go over to Mire, they might finish Desert as well for the green pendant.
Ooh, Cope on a rope. I had to read their username, pointing out that Mark actually doesn't have a single fire source right now. So going to Mire may not be the obvious play we thought it was.
Oh yeah, right. Man, that's awkward. I didn't even think about that, because like an hour in, you normally always have a fire source.
Coolpapabell making the play that they need to make.
Yeah, this is really good. So this is play 1 out of 2 they need to make. But getting this before the cane is definitely good. But if Mark don't want to go to Mire because of that scenario, that could actually push him up the mountain even earlier and put him in go mode earlier and be able to go mode Mire. Or he's thinking, okay, I don't have a fire source by now. Probably one fire source is blocking the other one, so there might be one in Mire or something like that. Hard to tell. But it definitely doesn't make Mire as obvious of an option as I was thinking at first. Really nice second phase there.
That was cool.
That was really cool, but not as cool as Coolpapabell.
You got me there. Good one, Walt. See, you make good jokes.
I try.
That was a great one.
Looks like Shad is definitely enjoying it.
That's it.
So he did skip K45, but he's doing it after Swamp. Okay, now I can get behind that routing.
This was some pretty Galaxy Brain routing.
Here's the silvers for Papabell, which is going to be very helpful on the Ganon fight. Did actually see, before the race started, Coolpapabell was practicing Master Sword Civilis, but that's just how it works, right? You practice for something, and then you're not even going to have to do it anyways.
Yeah. Better to have loved and lost than to not have practiced at all, or something like that, right?
Something like that.
Mark coming over here. Oh, we haven't seen what's on the pyramid ledge at all yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen Catfish as well.
Looks like it's just 10 arrows on the ledge.
Mm-hmm. It was a pretty nice slideshow there from Mark. Oh, we haven't actually seen front of escape yet as well.
Oh my god.
I totally forgot about this being a thing.
1 hour, 7-minute front of escape check. This makes a lot of sense though, because Mire sucks without a fire source. You know, you're looking for fire rod. You're like, he's out of good options really at this point, other than going up to Death Mountain. But obviously, if he can find the fire rod here, he doesn't have to check any of it. He won't. Yeah. That's his thought process.
I mean, he should be able to figure out that it's very likely a fire source is up on Death Mountain. He might not be thinking both of them are, but so in his mind, since he has the flute, he's probably thinking it's just the lamp being up there. So if he then I might actually sooner or later make him go up there before Mire.
Yeah,
it's by far the most likely place to find a fire source by now.
That's a really good point.
Really nice.
Remembering that
logic. Cool Papa Bell, by the way.
Ooh. That's how you know you're a pro gamer, when you can get a rupee count like that. It takes a lot of skill and practice to ensure you get that rupee count. Mark going for Master Sword spins on the ball and chain guard. And there is the Ice Rod full call Papa Bell. So
yeah, this could be a close. Mark going up the mountain, so he's gonna get his go mode pretty soon. And by the time he gets the fire rod, Cool Papa Bell probably wants to have gone back to the magic bat, but it looks like Papa Bell might be doing the same thing that Mark just did here, going to pyramid and then like checking front of escape, potentially even go to Catfish.
Yeah, I was gonna say Catfish, which Mark did not do, which makes sense. You have so much density up here.
Yeah, it looks like Mark decided to just cut his losses by checking the overworld and more items than here in Hyrule, and just decided, well, okay, I skipped the mountain for so long, but now it's time to do it. He's gonna get the lamp here. I mean, if he wanted to be really crazy, he could just leave and go to Mire after getting the lamp.
Oof.
But I think if you're already up here, I think you can check the rest.
I think if Mark did that, it would be like a cry for help, you know? Like I would want to call him and see if everything was okay.
Well, it looks like he's not leaving.
Phew.
So Mark's gonna have no missed calls after this game. He did leave that portal, just like Papa Bell did as well, so we can just route both of these caves pretty nicely in together. That's one of the like really nice things about having the mirror. Just overall, is you can make your routing as efficient as possible.
So what is even left after Catfish and of course the Magic Bat? Cool Papa Bell. I mean, there's the book. There's the
Mire without the
cane. Mire without the cane. And that's really
Desert Palace.
He already did Desert
Pedestal.
Palace. He hasn't done the pendant. But
the pendant gives you items. Got all the pendant dungeons left, including like free items in Thieves Town. But I think if you go to Thieves Town, you're probably checking Magic Bat before heading in there, so that might actually be the best case scenario here.
Yeah, I think that Magic Bat, that's the good thing. Is like if let's say it was because Cool Papa Bell, you know, forgot about checking Magic Bat at the time. If that was the case and he remembers he has pattern out, like it's a very fast check to just flute to 3 and go turn that in compared to everything else that he's got on the table.
Mark is about to get his silvers, and then it's like, nice, but that's not what I'm looking for. And then he takes a fall.
I thought he was gonna just leave.
Oh, no. But he was literally throwing the game for a while there. Well, throwing himself at least. But now he's in go mode. He can use go mode Turtok here, then head to Skullwoods and Mire and clear them out as well. Or he's gonna mirror and leave Turtok for last, which is fine as well. It doesn't really matter in which order he does it at this point, as long as he doesn't do like Skullwoods, then Turtok, and then Mire, because that would be kind of stupid, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, he does save a screen transition by fluting now. Oh, Quake, so he has to kill the bird.
Yeah, that's good heads up play, because otherwise that bird is just gonna circle around you and like destroy you. Well, actually, you only take one hit because you still get iframes. Otherwise, it would be kind of awkward. Imagine having like full health, and then after the Quake animation is done, you're dead. Oh, we do see Thieves on, but not the bat first. This could be an indication that maybe Probable has forgotten that they have.
Now, another thing that could be happening here is, you know, when you forget a location, it's very easy to say, you know what, my opponent will have checked it earlier. I'm just not going to look for it, especially because he's one item away from go mode. So
yeah,
he could be thinking, if go mode is Magic Bat, he could be thinking that would be really bad for me. Because think about all the items he's checked since he got his second to last item that he wouldn't have had to check, you know. So that could also be what's going on, which would be really unfortunate.
I think that mentality makes sense, but it's you also need to like factor in like at some point you need to cut your losses, and the Magic Bat is not super time consuming, especially now when you're like right there in the area. Like if it was something super out of the way, it makes a lot more sense to just be like, okay, I have skipped that for so long, I'm just gonna keep skipping it. But at some point you're gonna have to like, it's good to hope for the best case scenario, but you should also plan for the worst case scenario.
I think that's true. Like I think that is an interesting mentality, and it should affect your routing, but you still consider all the normal things. You still consider routing efficiency, items per minute, you know, you still consider all that. But sometimes it can be hard because you're like, man, I really don't want it to be there.
Mm-hmm. So I think after Thieves down here, if coolpapabell does not go to the powder, they're in a pretty bad spot. But if they do it right after this, like we still have a game on our hands for sure. A big chest in Thieves Town has a heart. Not very impactful. The only really impactful thing we could find here would be a tempered sword. That could actually be really helpful, especially if you're a bit behind in the late game. Having a sword difference could give you could save you enough time to get back. I love that bunny sprite from the Nature Link. It's a really nice blind fight here from Probable getting the script pretty much perfectly. And Mark doing a really nice fight here on Vitreous as well, but he has silvers, so I mean, it's not very impressive, Mark. Everyone can do that silvers, please. Mark, you should have just deactivated the silvers and have like a little bit more of a challenging fight. Papabell going up to where is Papabell going? This is grabbing the book. That makes a lot of sense. Forgot they didn't do this yet. But it's a little bit unfortunate too, because this is kind of gonna push them away from Magic Bad.
Yeah. Maybe it's just check number 1 though.
It could be. I mean, a good thing if they forgot about having, or like, I mean, it seems more likely that they might have forgot to do the powder the first time around and then decided to skip it, as you mentioned. But if they forgot about like that being an option overall, at least every time they do like a menu, they will see like the powder, and eventually maybe it'll be like, oh crap, I could do that.
Oh, they are running out.
Okay, this could be good. No, this is a pedestal shake.
Oh,
I'm gonna mirror here and do a pedestal shake and then probably float away, I'm afraid. And at this point, I think it will be fair to call Mark in a firm lead. He's about to be an entire Go mode Mire ahead of Papabell, and also being in Go mode while Papabell is not. And there is just couch catch on the pedestal. There is absolutely nothing in Thieves Town. All of these extra checks is not paying off at all. But I think checking the pedestal there actually makes a lot of sense, because you just grab like one what's it called? You just grabbed one pendant. Yeah, and you pretty much only have the bosses left in the other pendant dungeons. So if it was on pedestal, that would have been like pretty smart play.
I think this might be the last one-off location coolpapabell has to check, is the Spike Cave here.
Spike
Other
Cave.
than powder.
Yeah, green pendant as well, and all the book locations. Well, two book locations that we just got unlocked. That's crystal number 6 from Mark. Is gonna head up to Tartarok now and go mode it. Sometimes it's kind of fast actually to do the go mode Tartarok, but most of the times it's not too fast. It's like sometimes you can skip Laser Bridge, but sometimes you cannot skip anything. If you get really lucky and you get like 3 small keys and the big key in the first couple of chests, you can skip quite a bit. But you don't get that every time.
Let's see what we get here in Spike Cave. A piece of art. Not even getting swords for these checks.
Yeah, I was like kind of theorizing about that, but we might just have the swords in Tartarok and Ganon's Tower at this point, it looks like.
Oh dang, did I miss a Waffle House drive-through from coolpapabell or from Mark?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure if it was the full drive-through, but maybe it was.
Maybe just like the parking lot.
Yeah, something like that. It's definitely not the waffle drive-by, at least.
Coolpapabell going to go check Bombo's tablet.
Yep, looks like it. And then I think then it's green pendant or going to powder, I think. Unless there's one item left in pot, which I'm not sure if it is or not.
Oh, on Helma?
Yeah, I'm not sure if we had an item left there or not.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, we don't really... wait, it was a small key actually in that chest from Mark. We luckily, we have like an automated key tracker on our screen every time we play this game. Speaking of tracking, by the way, shoutouts to our tracker of this game, Irritable Penguin. Major shoutouts for keeping track of what's happening, making this viewing experience really good for everyone, and really shoutouts to all of our trackers. Been making this restreams possible so far.
Gonna take a little D-boost into the door here from this murder dactyl, or away from the door.
Yeah. So they're gonna get the big key in here at least. So when they come back, it's gonna be pretty fast to get to Vitreous. But it's still a time loss for sure. And it's really unfortunate because Pablo did a lot of really smart and good plays, paired with like really sweet execution. But just kind of the way Rando works sometimes, really scary. Like, this is why I really don't like leaving any chest behind pretty much, because it's so easy to just do that. You just skip one thing and then your like kind of nice seed just ends up being the worst seed ever.
Yeah. Yeah, and it happens to like literally every rando player. I don't know a single person who can claim that it's never happened to them.
So Mark did get the big key in the front part here, so gonna be able to skip the the vanilla big key chest. Did not hit the switch a additional time here, so might not skip the big chest though. Normally you would like to,
or maybe. I mean, it's fine to also. Well, maybe you're right. Nah, yeah, it's fine to not hit the switch.
Nah, it's just sloppy from Mark. I mean, skipping the big chest though, in all seriousness, I think it makes a lot of sense when you get the when you can steal the big when you can steal the small key there. It makes a lot of sense. You can get punished by doing this, but it's very unlikely. But when it happens, it really hurts.
You remembered to flip the switch that time. Are you happy now?
Okay. Good enough.
Papabell about to discover that their go mode is not in Misery Mire, unfortunately.
Yeah. Potential maybe getting a sword here in the big chest?
That would be a nice consolation.
That's
just some bombs.
That's not a sword. You really need to have a wild imagination to make that a sword.
Oh, wait, did he not check cutscene chest? Oh, he must not have checked cutscene chest.
There's a small key on the laser bridge. He's gonna check the rest, hoping to get a sword. Well, he checked one, hoping to get a sword, but then just cut his losses. Didn't have to worry about that red beetle.
Nice cane dash. And let's see what kind of strats Mark uses. I mean, he does have half magic, so he could just spam some rods.
Yeah, I would be guessing we'll probably see some hammer. Ooh, hammer backdoor strats even.
My man. Love to see it. And then is he gonna do spam on the blue head? No, Master Sword slashes. Mark.
Starting off with some cool time save and then just throwing it all away on the second part of the head here.
You hate to see it.
It's calculated, dude. You're like, you save time so you can throw it away without being punished.
Well, good point.
Yeah, fire running Trinex doesn't really work though. Well, not this part of Trinex. But Trinex is dead, and you know what? You know what this means?
It means it is time to play a game. Do we have a command? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. I was typing it in, but I'm bad at typing apparently.
So for
and I had
folks
to
who
retype
can't,
it like 3 times.
for everybody who can't read 50 words in half a second because it scrolled by so fast, this is the big.
Kind of cut out a little bit there. But yeah,
Oh,
we're
sorry.
doing a
Yeah.
big key game, guessing game. So there's 22 locations. So you just guess a number between 1 and 22, or you can go even above there if you're crazy. But we're gonna stop it really soon, so make sure to get those numbers in as fast as possible. First person gets a shout out and some points, but I think if you pick the right number, even if you're not first, you still get points now. That's how it works, but just not as many for a leaderboard.
Yeah, I like that we've made that change there. So Cool Papa Bell did in fact go grab the green pendant, turn that in, and maybe this is now their last. I mean, it might even be their last check at all,
Yeah, I think so.
other than the magic
After
bat.
So yeah, you hate to see that. It's like such a terrible feeling when, especially like when early games, it looked really good. We were like what, 2 items away from go mode at 30 minutes or something like that. 36 minutes, I think
Yeah.
we had like 2 items we potentially still needed to find. Well, that was collectively, I suppose, but still.
Oh, they're going there before green pendant. That's really interesting. They finished desert. This I think is an indication that they forgot because they were like there in the Eastern Palace area.
Yeah. Probably not going to be super happy to see this, but better late than never, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely not happy about that.
No.
Very understandable. Mark, in the meanwhile, during our big key guessing game here, he went to Hope Room first, then he went over to Stalfo's room because he didn't get a small key, and then now he's going to the right side here, I believe is what he did.
Judging by his key count, I would say that's about right.
But does he get rewarded by a big key though? The answer may surprise you if you thought it was yes. Because he didn't.
So I believe that's 11 chests we've checked so far. Or did he? No, he didn't check towel room.
Mark, you crazy person. He's going. No? Okay. He was gonna go the rest of the way full right there. But then he took a fall and he was like embarrassed and he was just mirrored away instead.
For those wondering in chat, it is a long-standing, time-honored tradition that dates back to the 17th century to bomb the location that you forgot that had your Go mode item. So this is more of a cultural custom that we're being exposed to than just pure rage as well. It's expected.
That's how they actually invented bombs in Hyrule. They were like so angry about stuff, so they needed some way to express themselves since they can't really talk.
And now it's like sometimes an emotionless cultural function, you know? So you can't always read in too much to the rage of the bombs.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but honestly, I think every tradition is weird if you look back at the historical nature of it.
Yes, Walt. Good point. Good point, my man. Good point.
Okay, we're coming up to a room here that we like to call Rando Room because most of the times you don't really see this unless you're playing Rando. It has 4 locations, so it's a pretty good chance of having the big key. And there it is. I know what number that was, but I'm gonna let Kern figure it out, see if he's good at math. He also got a tempered sword.
I'm gonna guess that was 15. Was that 15?
Did you check chat?
Oh, hey, chat says 15. I didn't check
sneak
chat. I
peek?
counted in my head.
Okay, I will believe you. But yeah, GG's to Silo Price, being the first one to guess 15. Meanwhile, coolpapabell has now picked up his 6th crystal. He's gonna head up to Tartarok while Mark is starting his Ganon's Tower climb. He
2.5 hearts.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Not sure if he has any potions, but there is a safety room that he could use here. He's not doing it, so I would imagine maybe he has some kind of safety. Or he's just a madman.
He does have powder.
Yeah, that's fair.
Did that heart just dupe?
It looks like it, yeah. Because he only picked up one of them, right?
Unless he killed 2 enemies in the same spot and they both dropped a heart. But I didn't think a heart could dupe without using a boomerang or a hookshot.
I didn't know that either. But, you know, everyone is learning so much today.
Let's get our producer to pull up the replay on that one.
Does not have any magic left, but he has the green potion. So he's gonna drink that, and now he has a lot more magic. And
he didn't have the hookshot art when he picked up that heart. He just walked over it. Am I crazy? Yeah, he had the fire rod out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he definitely had the fire rod out.
This is spooking me out.
Yeah, this game is kind of known to be a little bit spooky sometimes, so it's all good.
Chat is confirming my theory that they killed 2 Zazacs, or at least I don't know if it's strict, objective, evidence-based confirmation. But there are others who believe that it was 2 Zazacs on the same spot anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we all know what Kern is gonna do tonight. 6 hours of picking up hearts.
Yeah, I tried to reproduce a heart duplication glitch that doesn't exist.
Oh, he did have a red potion as well as another green potion. So he was all good this entire time. Actually used the red potion in advance here. He did have 2 hearts, so he could have tanked a hit, I think. But I mean, sometimes it's just better to be safe than sorry. Especially if sorry means you're gonna have to climb Ganon's Tower twice. So we got Moldorum coming up here. Gets the dash hit, and now he's going for a spin. That's enough to take care of that, and now he can't go for Ganon. Well, he needs to do Agatu first, I suppose. Oh my god, Mark, please. He was holding a diagonal there, which means if you hold a diagonal, you can actually not push the blocks. That's kind of funny.
I think he must have been like typing something or looking in chat, or I mean, well, I don't think you can have chat on, so I don't know. But he must have been doing something that was not looking at the screen.
Yeah, he might have pulled up the SRL room.
Oh yeah, like oh my god, have they finished yet? I should get ready to done.
Yeah, I always have the SRL room up, but I don't recommend it because the entire Ganon's Tower I use peek on it like non-stop, and it's really distracting.
Oh, dude, that was really unfortunate.
Yeah, maybe you can introduce Mark to that friend of yours, Pythagoras. Was that the name?
Mm-hmm. Cool Papa Bell did remember to flip the switch. So picking up those cool points that Mark just left on the table there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Ganon coming up.
Oh no!
Didn't really charge that sword spin long enough. So it's gonna have to get a 2-cycle lever. A really good position here to get a 1 cycle. So that's gonna save them, or like give them some time back from that first mistake. Tanking some hits, can kind of do that for now, as long as he doesn't tank too much. Ganon really teleporting a lot here. And Papa Bell almost at Laser Bridge here. Second chest on Laser Bridge from the top had the small key. Then they can go for Trinex, and then they're in Ganon's Tower after that. So right? Actually, like even though like pretty much full clear everything in the game, not gonna end up being that far.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Like apart from that go mode, I mean that was just a really efficient clear of the overworld. So yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
There is Ganon down for Mark. All he needs to do is pass the final screen transition here. And there we go. That's a win for Marcnificent. We're going to see if he wants to come in and join us for a bit of a post-game interview. And we'll see as if Papa Bell want to do that after they're finished as well. Gonna have to be careful now. Only 2 hearts left. Checking the last of the chest here, hoping to get a sword. And I think we're joined by Mark. GG's, dude.
Hey guys, thank you guys so much. GG.
How about this seed?
It wasn't too bad. I thought every time I went to a place, I like didn't have enough money or not enough bombs. I went to CAC and I didn't have money or bombs, and when I went
early game was. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I felt really trolled. I just like when I went to Zora's, like I didn't have enough money, and then the item I got right after was money, and I was just like, well, God, there could be something there, and obviously something was really important that was there.
Did that happen? I didn't even see. Did you see that, Walter? I didn't see that at all, or comment on it.
Sorry, what? On no,
the whole rupee thing? Really. Yeah.
Was there something important blocked by the rupees?
What you talking about, like Zora?
Oh wait, bombs. Yeah, bombs is blocked by rupees. I'm just kidding. We were messing a bit with you during the race.
Damn it. Okay, no. It was no. I mean, obviously the powder ended up being important. You couldn't even fake powder because of Samaria. So
yeah,
it was good. But I don't know. Just at the end, getting both the fire sources like right on the right side of the mountain after doing all of the overworld, pretty much. I just I don't know. I kind of felt behind then. But
I mean, it was really interesting to watch because both of you you had some major differences in routing. Because the first trip into the Dark World, Papa Bell picked up the Smith, so they got like the Hookshot pretty early, which made them go up the mountain and get like the fire rod and get the bow and stuff like that. You went into Pod though, so you still got the bow. But so you were a bit behind of getting like hammer and hookshot, but but since you had the ice rod, that was a nice find from Pod. But the really big thing was Papa Bell when they did the purple chest, they didn't do powder as well, so they pretty much last location that King of Samaria.
Yeah, feels really bad.
Yeah, that ended up being the biggest difference maker in this one, I think.
I see. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I felt pretty. I don't know. I kind of felt behind. Messing up kind of Ganon Sarah. I thought maybe about going full right after getting those 4 chests, but I messed it up, and I was just like, I'll just mirror back and do it the standard route, and then see what happens. And actually, that ended up being better for me. Obviously, the big key was on the left side. So, other than that, I mean, the ice dip with just bombos and Master Sword was just like, I think this is it. This got to be my play, right? I mean, obviously there was a Quake in there, so that actually helped me out a lot as well. Obviously, that was required, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel that comfortable with the route, but I just kind of went along with it. So I guess that sort of helped me out in the end.
Yeah, you got bailed out hardcore, dude.
Feels bad, feels good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the way of random, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think necessarily there was definitely portions early game where we kind of felt like you were a bit behind, but then after a while, both of you kind of you didn't really sync up, but at that there was a point where it was almost impossible to tell who was ahead, and then the powder just solidified you actually pulling ahead. So it was definitely back and forth in that sense.
Yeah, I guess when I went to Dark Village of Outcasts, I thought, since I had flippers, I was thinking pod the whole time. I was just like, I gotta go over the pod. Something there. I have a potion. I can potion glitch if I need to, but I was just thinking the whole time. So that's why I didn't pick up the Smith, because I knew I was gonna pick up Kiki.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I just completely skipped them, and I was like, I'll just come back for that, and I guess that bow in pod really led me everywhere else.
Yeah, that makes sense. I actually like to pick up the Smith anyways, because even if you're not sure what you want to do, because if you go to pod, you can override the Smith with Kiki anyways.
Yeah, that's true. I actually maybe should have thought about that.
But I mean, you were heading to pod anyways, so that would have mattered actually.
Yeah, I knew in my head, but you're right. There could have been something along the way that could have changed the route. Something in, I don't know, Hype Cave that could have been like, oh yeah, it's hard to pass up a different route at that point. But I was definitely thinking, yeah, pod pendant, early, it's it's a play.
Yeah, we've seen pendant pod or just pod overall be quite fruitful a lot lately, both in the main tournament and in the league as well. So I mean, it's a dungeon with a lot of items, so it makes sense, right?
Yeah, for sure. All right.
So this is actually our last game of week 1. So we're heading into Ambrosia for next week. How are you guys feeling about that game mode overall? You guys hyped to see some competitive Ambrosia being played?
Yeah, I'm hyped to see you guys run that mode. I don't think I've ever run that mode, so I really should, just to familiarize myself with it. But
I mean, it's not too different. If anyone in chat doesn't know what Ambrosia is, it's pretty much standard, but you have a sword assured and you get a boot hint from the uncle. And then, except for that, the only real difference is that every boss has an item which is not a dungeon item. So then that could make the routing in dungeons a bit differently. But that's about it. So it's different than standard, but it's not crazy different.
Okay, but there's still for instance, in Eastern Palace, there's still 3 items there.
Yeah, it's always the same amount of items.
Okay. All right.
So it's more like if you go to Eastern, you find a big key and 2 items, you can just go to the boss instead of heading to the vanilla big key chest, for example.
It's chat asking why it's called ambrosia. It's called that because it's like, ambrosia is like the drink of the gods or whatever. So it's supposed to be like a super sweet game mode because sword assured, you don't have the variance of open because you do standard, boots hint, yada yada.
Yeah.
And also the item on bosses does reduce quite a bit of variance too in terms of dungeon routing.
I think that's from the Greek mythology, right?
Yeah, something like that. Willow J. Bradley calling out that name in public, though. I have to agree. When I first heard it, I was like, "What are you guys talking about? What the hell is this?"
Yeah, me same. I was just like, why is this? What is ambrosia? Is that an adjective? Like,
I
what,
mean, I will
describe
say ambrosia is a little bit more catchy than dot casual with boots hint and no item. And definitely items on all the bosses.
I see.
Yeah, you got a point. We could just call it Blaine mode.
Yeah, I would be. I don't know if Wayne has scheduled his game next week, but I will be very disappointed if we don't see a Wayne running ambrosia.
Impossible.
Yeah, it seems like that would kind of be like a rule violation or something.
Yeah.
So Papa Bell almost through the entire Ganon's gauntlet here. Well, through the gauntlet, but almost through the entire top of the tower, heading into Moldrum 2, getting a nice refill of health and magic first. Did you... Okay, Mark, we have something we need to ask you here. After Moldrum, were you like pulling up the SRL room?
Like Moldrum.
Because you were holding a diagonal, pushing the block for quite a while.
Actually, no. I had the SRL room. Yeah, I had the SR room up already. I think I was just holding diagonal. I was just like, what? I think I was like sitting there. I was like, what is going on? And then I like completely messed up that. I couldn't even hookshot over. I just like it was a disaster all around. Just that those 3 blocks. Yeah, it must have been my controller. I was just pressing left, but I guess I gotta check it out on the inside. Maybe get my D-pad replaced or something. But yeah, that's what happened.
Blame the controller.
That's
always the controller's fault.
It's a classic, dude. Can never go wrong by doing that.
Cool Papa Bell now on Agate. Let's see if they can.
Oof. The blue ball kind of messed them up a bit there. So do you have any other like random thoughts about the seed or about the tournament or like the league in general or just life in general?
Yeah, the sun is beautiful today. We're gonna have more of it. The daylight savings is gonna be good, and we're gonna have a good week of Ambrosia. Can't wait to see your guys' matches. Hopefully, I can commentate one of your guys' matches when if it's late enough during the week or if it's on a weekend. Definitely try.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost missed commentating this one because of daylight savings. I was about to go to the store and I was like, I got 1.5 hours before the game starts. And I was like, wait a minute.
Here we go. The Ganon fight. Cool Papa Bell. Let's see if they can get the one-on-one that Mark missed out on today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, it gets the Trident spin.
Oh, nice.
All this set up for it. This is a good pattern.
There it is. That's it.
Oh no, the hook shot into the torch. I hate to see it. Oh, but he's gonna deboost through. I think he got it. Just barely. Oh no!
Oh.
I'm gonna count it. That was a 1-1.
It was.
But
it was.
you know,
that was GG.
now we get another chance of we can get 2 1-1s. Well, Mark got 0 of them.
Yeah, maybe I should undone because my lackluster performance.
Gets the Trident spin again, and the same position from Ganon.
Beautiful.
Oh, didn't get enough hits in there though.
And this is the exact same warp pattern.
Yeah.
What? I mean, I guess it's not that unlikely, but it's like 1 in 16 maybe.
Yeah, because the RNG for Ganon is set, so you have like the same RNG. But if you take a dash or a fall, that changes the RNG, I believe. And I think it's also dependent on how many like cycles you have on each phase, which like that can interpret it, make the warps here differently, I believe. Yeah, because we got your first warp was he stopped on the bottom, and we have on the top here now. So. Just need one more hit, and then we're in the last phase. We do have silvers. Silvers was kind of it's kind of hard to miss the silvers in the seed, I think.
Nice double end torch glitch. Sorry.
No.
As
Oh
I do
no!
play oh no! Oh! The death in the got
Wait, is he
got
gonna?
Japanese 1.0'd.
Can he get back on? though? Like,
If he had a fairy, yeah, that's a good. If he had a fairy and he was revived, then yes, you can hold down while you're falling in a pit, and you will no longer be falling in the pit. But unfortunately, no fairy. But see, he just wants to show off the 1-in-1. I think is really what.
Yeah, then we got a third chance here to get it.
That was almost a major.
We did get the Trident spin every time though, which is like honestly one of the hardest part of the 1-on-1.
So that was like, I would guess, like probably like 15-20 frames away from a major glitch. If he had died on the exact frame that he would have like transitioned to the underworld basically, then it would have done some I forget what it's called. It's like sprite misalignment or something like that. It's basically like a jingle glitch.
So it would have to be like, how do you get out of that? Can you save and quit from it?
Yeah, you can get out of it pretty easy. He could just walk outside of the dungeon. It wouldn't even do anything if he did it here, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But it might have changed like some graphical stuff, but that's about it for in this particular location.
Okay. Third time is a charm, right? That's what they say. There we go. Ganon's dead.
Nice.
All right, GG.
Get your GGs in for Cool Papa Bell. We'll see if they want to join us and have a little bit of a talk as well.
So it does look like they didn't done when they did walk through the door. So for Fantasy League stuff, I'm not sure how that works out. Like, do you correct it, the IRC?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can correct that. But we are joined by Cool Papa Bell. GG's on the run, and obviously it didn't really end up the way you hoped for sure. But GG still.
GG.
Don't think we can. Oh, never mind.
Sorry, Walter was rudely talking over you there. I can't believe you, Walter. But yeah, good game. Nice bomb rage on the bat pedestal. So
yeah, that sometimes something just slips your mind. That's really frustrating because I felt really good when I found that hammer, but after that, not so great.
Yeah, so that's, I guess, did you just simply forget to do Magic Bat, or was it a conscious skip, or did you or at what point did you realize it?
I literally forgot about it until I was fluting to turn in Green Pendant and finish Helmasaur. and then I was like, oh crap, I have powder and shovel.
Yeah, we had a theory about that, or like we weren't sure if you forgot that you had the powder, or you forgot the location, or like sometimes stuff like that just slips one's mind. But we did realize that like when you fluted to 5, you decided to like flute again and go check it. So that kind of was a little bit of an indicator that maybe that's what you forgot.
Yeah, and I was even thinking about it because when I turned in the mushroom, I was like, okay, I'm gonna save and quit, turn in the mushroom and hard reset. But then I found the powder,
Yeah.
and then yeah.
Yes, but like, because except for that, like I would say you had like a really nice early route, especially getting that hookshot early to get some more stuff up on the on the mountain as well.
Yeah, it was some pretty great routing that was paying off for you, and like great execution as well.
Yeah, well, thank you. It just feels bad to lose off of forgetting the check like that. But I knew this was going to be a tough one up against Mark, so I was kind of pressing just a little bit, I think.
I think if you did check it at that moment, it would have been really close, or you would have maybe even been ahead at that point, actually. But it's hard to tell. But it definitely. For a large portion of the game, it's really hard to tell like who was ahead, who was going to take it.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch and see how much time I wasted. Geez, what did I do extra? I mean, you were pretty much going to have to full clear pod anyway. So it was really, I guess, just kind of beating Thieves Town. Maybe I could have not full cleared a dungeon, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I left Catfish. That's pretty much what I left. Left side swamp, Catfish, back at Thieves, and then I guess land mow and green pendant. I didn't do, but yeah.
yeah, I just can't believe I walked past friggin' powder twice. Once for Thieves Town, and then once when I went back for Hammer Pegs and Purple Chest. But
Yeah, we were definitely hoping that like when you came back for Feast Town, it was going to be like a powder play first. I think at that point you would still be have a bit of time to catch up, but it would definitely have made it close.
yeah, and obviously my execution from about Landmo 2 on was not so great. So I don't know how it would have come down the stretch.
I mean, that happens to everyone. Ganon is just a jerk sometimes.
I did nail those trident spins though. So
I was gonna say, admit it,
Yeah,
you did that
yeah.
intentionally to show off.
Yeah, I know. It feels bad. Feels bad for me.
I'll
have to work on.
Mark got 0 trident spins, so you got 3 of them. So.
I got. You know what? I feel like I got 1 trident spin, and it was one in the corner, the top right corner. Like when the trident was coming back, I got a double. It didn't really matter because
What?
flushed against the wall anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not. That's not a trident spin.
I don't think that counts.
But you could see the sword hitting the trident.
Oh, okay.
You got it. Yeah, so double spin. Yeah.
I think at best we can say you got like a quarter trident spin because you started charging one up.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, 0 or nothing. I guess. I mean, you could get 1 spin, but I got 0. It was bad. I think I don't know. I was really antsy. I thought I was behind, so I just like all my movements were just like a little, too fast, too early. So it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But definitely GG's to both of you. coolpapabell, how are you and your team thinking about like Ambrosia next week? You don't have to go away in any details, of course, but just like the general feeling of playing some Ambrosia.
We're excited about it. I'm not actually playing next week, so I will be rooting on Bum Rush Blitz and Daddy Gamers. Yeah, GG's to you guys. We are definitely looking to get our first win next week, so should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, which team are you guys up against next week?
I actually don't know. As cheerleader, I'm just sitting on the sidelines, so I forget who we have next week.
Okay. Well, it's gonna be interesting either way. We have 64 more games next week. We had 64 this week. We're gonna have 64 every single week. So we're gonna have like 440 something races in total, I think, before these 7 weeks are done. Looks like your teammate is actually in chat, and Tempered. I got Tempered as your opponents for next week, so that's gonna be an interesting matchup to watch for sure.
Yep, should be good.
Yeah, do any of you two have any more thoughts to round this off?
Not too much. I'm looking forward to the coming weeks. I know we've got that co-op. Well, I guess obviously there's all dungeons co-op, and then there's also the Key Sanity spoiler co-op. Yeah, something got to practice on our end. I'm still kind of unfamiliar with it, but it looks like fun.
Don't give away that information. That's
Oh.
privileged information.
Actually, we're doing a great job. Actually,
There you go.
with it.
We're so prepared.
Yeah, so prepared. Very prepared.
How about you, Kupala?
Yes, we are definitely 100% prepared for those. I'm definitely having a lot of fun with the pilot spoiler log. It's a very different experience, so I'm glad that one got added for the season 2.
Yeah, it's a. Oh, go ahead, Mark. Okay.
I was just gonna say, spoiler races rock, and I love that those are in the league.
Well, also shoutouts to our tracker. Give me 2 seconds. Irritatable penguin. I wasn't sure about the first part. I knew the penguin part. And for tracking this game as well. And shoutouts to Kern, my co-com, as well. This, as we mentioned, was the last league game for this week. So last one for today, but we got a lot of them coming up next week, and I think we have like let's see, we have a lot of them tomorrow, to be honest.
Yeah, there's like 15 or I don't know, 10 to 15.
Yeah, we haven't got any confirmation on which ones will be restreamed, but since we managed to restream 57 races this week, I would probably assume that we'll have 1 or 2 on the restream tomorrow.
Yeah, and a lot of crazy matchups tomorrow that should be fun to see if they get picked up, and if they do, to watch. Rabus versus Divasine, Zelda versus Super Nintailer, Jamie Usher versus Glowin. There's just like a lot of crazy matchups that are going to happen. I'm sure all the races are going to be good.
Yeah, it does look like the Angels versus Tepedino is actually confirmed to be on the Portuguese restream. If there's any Portuguese speaking people out there, that's definitely something you can check out. We actually had like we have restreams for multiple different languages in German, French, Portuguese, and I think maybe Spanish as well. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely go check them out as well. But yeah, I think this will probably be it for us for today, and GG's to both our runners, and thanks everyone who's been making this first week possible, and we'll see you again next week.
Yeah, GG. I'll looking forward to it. And thanks for coming the race, my lovely teammates, Kern and Walt. Thank you guys, and the tracker, and everyone involved in this tournament. There's a lot going on, and we did a lot this week, and yeah, so smooth sailing, hopefully, for the next 5 or forever weeks. Yeah.
Smooth sailing for forever weeks. That sounds like a good way
There
to
it
round
is.
this off.
Rando forever.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, GG.
All right. Have a good day, everyone.
All right. GG.